Hey, Chris Spiker here.
I'm Aaron Goldstein. We are back with Mark Hemstreet from the Lancaster Chamber of Commerce.
Mark, welcome.
Thank you. Welcome back. I'm glad to be here.
Well, what's going on at the Lancaster Chamber of Commerce?
A lot of things. We have just redone our website, so we're much more mobile friendly now. And we just talked about our mobile app of apps, which is really cool. So text the word Lancaster to 72727, and you can see what the Lancaster Chamber of Commerce is about. You can actually even join online going through our app if you wanted to. It's really, the chamber, the website developer that we work with is called Chamber Nation. He is all about bringing more attention, more visibility, highlighting chamber businesses. And one of the things that he's doing now is that when you do a Google search on something, how do people search for something? Well, for most time it was you would go on your computer and you'd go to Google and you'd go in the search bar and you'd search in
Flowers, yeah.
Flowers,
Yeah.
right? And you put in, you might put in flowers, comma, Lancaster, comma, California, CA, right? So you want to do, flowers there near you. Or you would say weather, or weather, Lancaster, CA.
Right.
Okay. So the computer looks up and finds what the weather is in Lancaster and puts it out to you.
But the computer knows you're in Lancaster, California.
Well,
Mine does.
yeah, a lot of them do. They ask if that's the right location.
Yeah.
But now, more and more people are going to voice command, like, Siri, or some of the other ones out there. And the new way of prompting is, what's the weather outside? Well, that's a whole different string of words than weather, Lancaster, CA.
Yeah.
What's the weather outside? I need to send some flowers. Well, that's not florist, comma, Lancaster.
Wow. That's neat.
So optimizing the search, we're now doing much higher voice. We're now making it our priorities on voice optimization because that's what people are going to.
Right.
So when someone says, I need to get flowers for my girlfriend, Siri, help me out, they're going to come up and say, AV Florist, #1 on the list. Because that's how we're optimizing our search engine.
Gotcha.
So he's really on top of it, and they really take care of us. It's really kind of nice that they're always looking on how we can use the internet to maximize our exposure and put us higher and higher up in the levels there.
They just redesigned the front page, the landing page of our website.
The whole thing.
The whole thing.
The whole thing.
And, if you go on to the Lancaster, California Chamber of Commerce website and click on the YouTube icon,
the top.
all
Yep.
of our videos, there's like 350 videos
All the radio
of these.
videos.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
radio show.
Yeah, that's cool.
Different members.
Yep. We also have added some videos on our main page. So there's one for our Business for Breakfast. That's kind of a interesting. Actually, Ron Heyer, who we talked to earlier today,
Yeah.
he's our voiceover for our video on that one. Because we know that Google likes seeing videos and likes seeing interaction. So we're putting some of those up there.
And you and I talked about members shooting 30-second
Video.
info, commercials,
Yeah.
videos of other businesses that we like that may be a little under promoted.
Right.
And it doesn't cost us anything, and when we recommend somebody, it makes us look a little bit
Right.
better
I
too.
think you were down at Floridana's, who's
Right.
our cupcake member. She's on Lancaster Boulevard.
Yeah.
Right there at Lancaster.
And you had said
Yeah.
she needs some people in there.
We need to bring her some business.
Yeah, we need to bring her some business. And so I went in and she stood there, and so I got a little bit of the front of the store, and she said who she was and what she does and where she was, and invited people in, and that was in 30 seconds. And Google, the search engines, they like video, right?
They do. They do.
And it can cost you money, but it doesn't have to.
Right. And we put it up on Facebook.
Yeah.
And off the bat, she has 400 or 500 views on that video.
Yeah.
So, out of 400 views, maybe there's 100 people that didn't know she existed, that now when they want to get some really good custom cupcakes, they're going to go to Floridana's on the Boulevard. It's great.
And then she's going to be excited that I promoted her and she'll come on the radio show. Hopefully, when we record is a good time for her to get out of the cupcake business
Yeah.
for an hour or so.
She's tough. I mean, sole proprietor there.
Yeah.
Well, she has a partner, but she's the baker.
Right.
She's the one that makes it happen. So she's there all day long. She's there first thing in the morning, and she's there all day long.
And
Great.
you know, I mean, I work a lot too, but I've been
Yes.
doing this a long time, and I've developed the ability to get out of the office. And so I
Right. You have a good staff that
have a great staff.
takes care of the store for you.
When you're just starting out, you have to put the hours
You are
in.
the store.
You are the store.
You're not just the face of the store. You are the store.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I think that type of video capture that we can do and then we can put on Facebook is great. And then the other things that the chamber does has stepped up and been much more active in is we'll kind of change gears here, is legislative action, political action. We're getting to be, and we're working on this, is to be a voice in our community to our elected officials. And I think that's an important role the chamber can play, both locally, statewide, and nationally. We promote what we think is best for business.
Right.
Hopefully a little less restrictive on regulations and hopefully a little less taxing for business and for our people, but hopefully we can get, we can hold the line on some of that stuff and make it so our businesses can thrive out here in the Antelope Valley.
Make it so people can decide they want to open a business.
Or the
Or
ability to stay in business.
Stay in
Right.
business.
I mean, it's tough too when, they start raising taxes on you and if you're in a contract, you can't raise your prices, but you sure get hit fast. So we try to do that. And if you're a business out there, and you hear something coming up from from the legislation that says, hey, there's going to be a ban on this or something with employees that you're not going to be able to do, or we'll fight for you, and we'll write letters to Sacramento, and we're writing letters on behalf of 550 members.
Right.
So it's not just your voice in your industry, it's the voice of 500 members, representing thousands and thousands of employees in this valley. And that's who their constituents are, and they listen to them.
You're not alone.
You're not alone. You have the chamber to help you out, and I go to planning commission meetings when there's a new store wants to open up, and they want to have someone to help back them up and talk to the planning commission and give them support that we know the people and we think highly of what they're going to do, and we feel there's a niche for that market and they'll be successful. We're there for you.
Progress is a crazy thing.
It is. It can be a tough thing too.
Right.
It can be tough. I mean, some of the times, planning commission has certain restrictions on things, or they don't feel it's a good fit or a good match, and they need a little more education, and that's what we're there to do. We're out there to help educate people and let them know what the real story is and why they'd be important to our community and why they'd be an asset to our community. It's important.
Tell me about your staff members.
Absolutely. I have a great staff at the chamber. So we don't have, 550 members. So pretty good size membership. But we only have 3 staff. It's pretty lean.
And you're one of them.
I'm one of them. I'm
Yeah.
I'm paid full time. I'm CEO, so I get a paycheck, thankfully. And I have 2 staff people. I have a events coordinator, Anna Zarley. She's been there for quite a few years. Does an outstanding job. She runs our events. She gets everybody in line and lines them up and does our ribbon cuttings and our flea markets and our parades. Does an outstanding job, very detail oriented.
Yeah.
So she keeps everything really nice and tight, and she's good at planning out in advance, which is excellent.
Follow up and follow through.
Absolutely.
I said,
Very
Anna,
important.
you got to find somebody else to tape those numbers on the sidewalk for the parade. Come
I
on,
know.
come on.
We'll be doing a little differently next
You
year.
need to
so-
delegate that.
And we try. Well, the hard part is people sit there and they say they have a 30-foot float. Well, no, it was 2 trucks and 2 trailers. It was 60 feet.
Yeah.
And you try to squeeze them into a 30-foot spot, and now you're bumping the next car.
Yeah.
Now, and a lot of people do it. So we got to figure out how to really get a much more precise number on that. And our other staff person is Sharon.
Right.
Sharon Menard, she's a great asset to our chamber. She does our bookkeeping. She also she's the youngest of the 3 of us. So she does a little bit more on the social media aspect of it. She keeps up on our Facebook page
Yeah.
and She also does all our emailing through Constant Contact, so it's a great person to have on your side and keep you up to date. And yeah, wonderful staff. Both are very dedicated employees. Work very hard to keep our chamber going, help our members make those contacts, make those referrals. We try to get to know all our members. It's not easy, but we try to get to know our members and make sure that if someone calls up, we have a member to refer to them.
It's the smart member, the savvy member that gets to know the people at the chamber office, because the office is and can be a real resource.
Oh, absolutely. We get calls daily of people coming in asking for business or retail or services or attorneys or real estate brokers, and we have that list, and that's what we use. That's who we're promoting.
It's amazing to me, maybe somebody like a plumber, I don't know how many plumbers we have, but there have been times where we didn't have but one plumber, and you
Right.
get how many calls a week? Can you guys refer a plumber?
Yes. Yes.
It's kind of the same for flowers, They
Yes.
don't all realize the wisdom of, $100 or $200 a year to get that kind of referral.
Right. Right. Yeah. I think the chamber is very reasonable to join.
Right.
Especially for what you're getting back out of it.
Hey, isn't it great that the radio station lets us have this show?
It's fantastic. I can't tell how much we appreciate having some airtime every week
It's been like 10 years.
for 10 years.
For 10 years that this
Wow.
show's been on.
Wow. And the viewers, we appreciate you too.
Yeah, the viewers on the radio. Mark Hemstreet, CEO, Lancaster Chamber, thank you.
Thank you, Chris.
Hey, this is Chris Spiker.
I'm Eric Goldstein. We are here with our second guest, Mark Hemstreet from the Lancaster Chamber of Commerce.
Hey, Mark, welcome.
Well, thank you, Chris. Glad to be on the show again.
My favorite line is, thank you for being a member of the Lancaster Chamber of Commerce, but I guess that applies to you.
Thank you for being a member of the Lancaster Chamber of Commerce, Chris.
Takes lots of members,
It does. It takes a
big and small, and
Yep.
new and old, and
Trying to be the hub of business in the Antelope Valley, and to be the hub of business, we need a lot of members, a lot of diversity.
right, a lot of people putting their energy together. And like this week, business, we had a open house event party at the chamber office, very well attended, lots of participation. And what did that have to do with business?
Great for networking.
Great for networking.
And just to give an example, we had some of our local wineries here in town come to do some tasting for people. We also had Madison from Picnic Grounds.
Yeah,
She was serving some of her gourmet coffees.
yeah, what a
And
sweetie.
and Barbara from Thief and Barrel, who's doing an open house today, Saturday from noon till 8 at Thief and Barrel. She was asking about the coffee gal, and I said, oh. She goes, well, she's mobile? And I said, yeah, she's mobile.
Yeah,
She
she's
brings-
right in there, go.
She's right in there. Take a.
Yeah.
10 minutes later, Barbara comes back out and says, I booked Madison to work my function.
Wow.
So I mean, it's
Boom,
great that
that's huge.
right there.
Yeah.
It's right in front of you,
Yeah.
making connections, making that business connection.
Yeah.
Just expanding your presence in the community is what the chamber's a lot about. Not everything, but that's a big part of what the chamber does is make those connections, get the visibility out there, get your name out there, get your business out there, really get known to our community. It's funny. Population-wise, Lancaster, Palmdale, we're a pretty good size population. We have close to 500,000 people in this valley.
They say about the same as Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania,
Yeah,
if you can imagine that.
yeah.
Yeah,
We don't have our own football NFL team here,
right.
but we have larger populations than a lot of NFL teams do.
More people here than in the country of Iceland.
Yes.
Crazy.
Yes.
Yeah.
So people don't always think of it, and we have a big population, but it's still, still to me today, we have a really small town feel. We have that really tight community feel amongst business, and I think that's really kind of cool.
But we do big town stuff.
Big town stuff.
Aaron and I were up in Mojave this week for the launch of the latest spaceship company effort. Amazing. So there for an hour, Mojave is the center of the universe.
Absolutely. Yeah, they're doing some really cool things out in Mojave. It's really cool rockets and space travel and those Have you heard of those little mini satellites they have?
Right.
Where they shoot them up and they actually send out these satellite kits out to colleges, universities, companies that want to do testing up in space, and they're about the size of a Kleenex box. And they send out hundreds of these satellites when they launch a rocket, and then they're out orbiting the Earth for, I don't know, a month or 6-8 weeks, something like that, before they fall back in and disintegrate before they hit the surface. But we're building them here. I mean, this is actually where it's happening.
That kind of reminds me of and leads into the YAY program.
Absolutely. So YAY stands for Young Entrepreneurs Academy. It's a program of the Lancaster Chamber of Commerce. It's where we take students from the 6th grade through 12th grade and actually have them start a real business. And if they want to shoot satellites into space, we're going to get them started. I'm not saying we're going to be able to get them there in a 25-week program,
Right.
but we're going to give them the basics on how to build that business to get them there.
They're going to learn or hear something they never would have heard anywhere else.
Absolutely. They're going to get they get a lot of instruction. Like I said, it's a 25-week program. We do it 1 day a week at Antelope Valley College. We work heavily on public speaking. A lot of these kids come in there really shy, really awkward, and by the time the program's over, they can meet and talk with adults on a business level. They do a complete business plan, the same type of business plan that as A.B. Flores would be doing. If you wanted to go out and get a loan from the SBA, you'd fill out that same business plan. That same thing the kids fill out.
Just thinking about new businesses that come into the valley or that start or that join the chamber, come to town, there's a lot of these new businesses that have never put a business plan together.
Right.
They think the most important thing is getting the sign, opening the door, joining the chamber, but no plan B. Nothing to
Right,
fall back
right,
on. What do we
right.
do next month?
Well, no plan on how they're going to get to the next level, or how they're going to make that first dollar of profit.
So this YAY program is very important.
And luckily, we do a lot of volunteers. We just went to Camacho Mitsubishi this Tuesday, and Gus Camacho gave the kids a tour. And we talk about financing, we talk about salesmanship. We do a lot of that. We take them on field trips. We also bring in a bunch of mentors. Chris, you're a mentor for our program.
Yeah, and I'm trying to get Aaron
Aaron, do it
involved.
this year? Yeah.
He could either come
I've
in.
been saying I'll do it.
Okay.
He could be a program too.
Yeah.
And he's pretty close to their age, so.
A
Did
lot
the,
closer than we are.
did the Yay kids tell you about being T-Rexes in the?
Yes, they did.
In the parades?
In both parades.
Yep, that
Yes.
was something they thought they'd probably never do.
Our program manager, PJ, came to me and goes, "Can we do this? Can we have them in your parade?" And I said, "Absolutely."
Yeah,
They're on their own time,
Right.
granted, but yes, they can absolutely be in the parade and get in those T-Rex air suits and walk the mile down the boulevard.
it was fun.
They loved it. They absolutely loved it.
Yeah,
So they did both parades,
oh yeah.
and Chris Perosi.
And Christopher Perosi, yeah, he was involved. And it's nice to have dancing
love it.
T-Rexes if you're going to have a T-Rex. And we had a lot of fun. Christmas parades are great
They
turnout.
are. Phenomenal turnout.
And a great way to promote your business.
Absolutely.
And there are those things that happen, the annual events that we just need to be reminded of, and I think that's the job of the chamber. Say, hey, we have this coming up. It's every year. It's like get involved with the Jethawks and get involved with the different causes. Yep. Heart Sounds Ball's coming up again.
Right. Just those major community
Yeah.
events that are out there, whether it's the fair parade, kicking off a week before the fair, or it's the Christmas parade that we have. And in our Christmas parade, I mean, we have, I'd estimate, somewhere around 15,000 to 20,000 people on Lancaster Boulevard.
Yeah, it was a crowd. It was fun.
I mean, it was
fun.
from 10th Street to Sierra Highway. There wasn't more room on the street. It was 3-4 deep.
I must have high-fived 500 people.
Yeah. That was in the first block.
Right. And people say, who puts these parades on? It's the Chamber of Commerce.
Absolutely. Yeah, we all the entries, all the applications, we do all the trophies. Kind of cool this year, the last couple of years we've been doing is for our marching bands. mostly the high school marching bands. We do a kind of a chamber competition. It's not a sanctioned competition. It's a chamber competition, a little more fun. But we give 3 bands a check for $500.
Right. And there were 16 bands in the parade?
12, I think there's 12 bands, which is still that's over 1,000 kids marching and playing holiday music. To me, that's just that's cool.
Yeah.
Hearing 1,000, I mean not 1,000 in a row, but broken up 1,000 kids marching down the street, which is neat.
The dinosaurs didn't have their own music for the Palmdale parade, but we were right behind the A.B. High School marching band.
Oh, nice.
Oh, wow.
That was good.
Oh, it was better than good. It was
They're
really,
a good band.
Yeah. My alma mater, I love them.
I know.
What else?
What else I got going on here? So we talked a little bit about Yay. We have about 17 students. We'll just finish up with the Yay. 17 students this year. Got some neat ideas. We'll be doing our Shark Tank investor panel coming up in April, May time. That's where the kids actually compete for real seed money, so they can actually walk away with a couple $1,000s to start their business, and they're starting real businesses. I mean, it's pretty cool. We have one kid, Marlon. He writes graphic novels, and
Wow.
does So I keep calling them comic strips. He's like, well, no, comic strips are like peanuts. This is not that. This is a story. It's a graphic novel. Okay, and he wants to publish it. And he wants to publish his own comic book or graphic novel, which I think is really cool.
We're going to have that young man come back and be a speaker at one of the Board of Trade events here in a few years.
Yes, when he's made it big and he's thinking, he starts off at one level, so he wants to have it's very family oriented, and his characters all have very high morals and ethics, and good positive images out there, and he wants. Now you remember. When you were a kid going to the doctor's office or the dentist office, what magazine was always there? Do you remember Highlight?
Oh,
Highlight
yeah.
magazine.
Yeah.
Always there. Every office.
Well,
you
that
went
was
into.
somebody's marketing plan.
Right.
Right.
And that's kind of what he wants to do. He
Gotcha.
wants to have that
Gotcha.
in doctor's office and dentist's office, and he wants kids to get off their phones and get off their
So he's still
games.
invested in paper.
He's still invested in paper.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Who
Pretty
knows?
cool. So we'll see where he takes it. I'm excited to be on his team there to see how we can get his business going in a real business, and maybe he can make some real money out of it. We'll see.
Positive. You've had some great successes in the YA program so far. What did we learn this week? That just because somebody tells you no, sometimes good to go get a second opinion.
Absolutely.
Ask somebody else. There's another way to do it. So you just got to put the thinking cap on and find someone else who'll say, yeah,
I
that's
like
a
that
great-
idea.
Yeah, we could do that.
Or maybe tweak it just a little bit here, and now you've got a great product.
How do people join the Chamber of Commerce? 10 seconds.
Real quick, go online to LancasterChamber.org. You know what? I'll tell you, really easy way. I want everybody out there to text the word Lancaster to 72727. Text the word Lancaster. The number is 72727.
Okay, we'll be right back. Thank you, Markham Street.